Welcome back to Bizarre Bureau, where we unearth the world's most fascinating mysteries. Imagine a library, not of books, but of ancient scrolls and tablets, containing the complete history of humanity, a record of a lost civilization, and technology that could change our world. Now, what if I told you this legendary library might be real, hidden for millennia in a chamber directly beneath the paws of the great Sphinx of Giza? This isn't just a fantasy. It's a theory that has captivated researchers, mystics, and archaeologists for decades. Today, we're digging deep into the legend of the Hall of Records. The story begins with one of America's most famous psychics, Edgar Cayce, the sleeping prophet. In the early 20th century, while in one of his trance-like states, Cayce made a series of astounding claims. He spoke of a highly advanced civilization that predated ancient Egypt, a civilization known as Atlantis. According to Cayce, as the Atlanteans faced their impending doom, they sought to preserve their immense knowledge for future generations. They gathered their history, their scientific discoveries, and their spiritual wisdom and created a great library. Cayce claimed that refugees from Atlantis traveled to Egypt and buried this repository, which he called the Hall of Records, in a secret chamber near the Sphinx, which they themselves had built. He even gave a specific location, between the paws of the great lion. Cayce predicted this chamber would be rediscovered near the end of the 20th century, heralding a new age of enlightenment for humanity. It's a sensational story, but is there any truth to it? Or is it just the dream of a mystic? While Cayce's prophecies were initially dismissed by mainstream archaeology, the idea of a hidden chamber refused to die. Decades later, technology began to catch up with the legend. In the late 1970s and 80s, sophisticated remote sensing equipment, like ground-penetrating radar and seismographs, were brought to the Giza Plateau. A team from SRI International, a respected research institute, conducted tests around the Sphinx. Their findings were startling. They detected anomalies, cavities, and voids in the bedrock right where Cayce had predicted. One particularly interesting anomaly was a large, rectangular, man-made looking chamber located several meters beneath the Sphinx's front paws. The data seemed to support the idea that something was down there. This wasn't a psychic's vision anymore. This was scientific data pointing to a hidden structure. The excitement was immense. Had they found the Hall of Records? The plot thickened with the involvement of an Egyptologist named Dr. Zahi Hawass, who for many years was the gatekeeper of the Giza Plateau as the Secretary General of Egypt's Supreme Council of Antiquities. While Hawass publicly and consistently debunked the Hall of Records as pseudo-archaeological nonsense, his own actions seemed to tell a different story. In the 1990s, workers performing restoration on the Sphinx reported breaking into a tunnel that led deep under the monument. It was quickly sealed. Furthermore, Dr. Hawass himself led several drilling projects around the Sphinx, ostensibly for conservation purposes to study the water table. However, many researchers, like author Robert Bauval, believe these were covert attempts to locate and access the very chambers Hawass was dismissing. They point to blurry photos and hushed reports of these conservation drills penetrating into empty spaces. It created a paradox. The official story was nothing to see here, while behind the scenes, there was a flurry of activity right at the location of the legendary library. Why the secrecy if there was nothing to find? Let's step back and look at the Sphinx itself. For centuries, we've believed it was built by the pharaoh Khafre around 2500 BC. But what if it's much, much older? This is the core of a theory proposed by geologist Dr. Robert Schoch. In the early 1990s, Schoch studied the weathering patterns on the Sphinx and its enclosure. He concluded that the deep vertical erosion on the limestone walls wasn't caused by wind and sand, but by thousands of years of heavy rainfall. The problem? The last time Egypt experienced that kind of rainy climate was before 5000 BC, thousands of years before Khafre was even born. This geological evidence suggests the Sphinx could be over 10,000 years old, placing its origins in a remote period of history we know almost nothing about. If the Sphinx is that old, then it couldn't have been built by the dynastic Egyptians. So who built it? Could it have been the survivors of a lost civilization, just as Edgar Cayce claimed? The age of the Sphinx is one of the biggest debates in modern Egyptology, and it directly connects to the possibility of a hidden history buried beneath it. So if these chambers do exist, what could they possibly contain? Case's prophecies were specific. He described a treasure trove of knowledge. Historical records going back hundreds of thousands of years detailed accounts of the lost continent of Atlantis, scientific formulas for harnessing powerful energy sources, and profound spiritual texts that could reunify science and religion. It would be quite literally an Ark of Knowledge designed to reboot civilization. Think about it. The history in our textbooks only covers the last 5,000 years or so. A discovery like this would rewrite everything we think we know about our past. It would prove that we are a species with amnesia, that a sophisticated global civilization existed in the Ice Age, and that its wisdom has been waiting patiently for us to find it. The implications are almost too vast to comprehend. It could solve our energy crisis, revolutionize medicine, and fundamentally change our understanding of our place in the universe. So, where does that leave us today? The Giza Plateau remains under tight control. No independent team has been granted permission to conduct a full-scale, transparent excavation under the Sphinx. The official stance is that the anomalies detected are natural features of the limestone bedrock, like fissures or caves. The theories of Edgar Cayce, Robert Schoch, and others are relegated to the fringe. But the questions linger. Why the resistance to a non-invasive, conclusive investigation? If there's truly nothing there, wouldn't a transparent exploration finally put the matter to rest? The secrecy and official denials have only fueled the belief that authorities may have already found something they believe the world isn't ready to see. The idea that a government or a secret society could be sitting on the greatest archaeological discovery in human history is a powerful one. Perhaps the legend is more symbolic. Maybe the Hall of Records isn't a physical place, but a state of consciousness, a form of ancestral memory encoded in our DNA, waiting to be unlocked. Or maybe, just maybe, deep beneath the silent gaze of the Great Sphinx, a chamber filled with scrolls of unimaginable importance is still waiting for the day we are ready to learn the true story of who we are and where we come from. The mystery of the Hall of Records is a testament to our enduring search for origins and our hope that a golden age of wisdom is not just a part of our forgotten past, but also our destined future. The Sphinx keeps its secrets well, but for how much longer? What do you think? Is the Hall of Records a historical reality waiting to be unearthed, or a modern myth born from wishful thinking? Let me know your theories in the comments below. Thanks for joining us at the Bizarre Bureau. If you enjoyed this journey into the unknown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you won't miss our next investigation. Until then, keep questioning.